everybody, my name's Kiahonfire and welcome back to another Conan Exiles video. If it's your first time here, welcome. But today we're going to be looking into Lotus potions. Now Lotus potions are kind of like an elixir but put in a fancy jar. That's what they are. Especially after the 3.0 update. Anyway, there is an interesting one we can look at that has a randomizer effect, and it might be worth getting, and then some of these potions might be worth using over elixirs. Now we have here a frost lotus potion, but it has a variable effect. Well, a variable effect is a randomizer of what you might get. If you're going to do this, by the way, and use these and try and get a buff you want, have antidote because you'll get alcohol poisoning. Anyways, if we were to use one of these, it should give us an ability or something else to use. So agility weapon damage plus 15%, that's quite a good percentage. Not a lot of armors would give you that amount of percent on their own. And then we do it again and we got another one. But this time I've taken another one and I got a plus 45 in carry weight ability. I'm gonna do it again. We got agility again. I'm gonna do it again. This time we got plus 21 stamina. Gonna do it again. Stamina again. Stamina again. Stamina again. Agility weapon damage. Very nice. And this time it gave me armor plus 50. So it's kind of like a random luck of the draw. This time it gave me strength weapon damage plus 15. Anyway, it's a really cool potion because it gives you a nice big bonus if you do use it on certain attributes. You can also use the other Lotus potions as well, which having the Black Lotus potion will give you plus 15% in strength weapon damage. There's also another one that's similar that does the same thing. Although when it comes to the black and the grey one, I think one of these was supposed to be agility because they don't have an agility one. They're both strength, and there isn't agility one in the selection of Lotus potions you can get. So none of them have agility as a thing. So I think that might be a mistake on their part. However, they both will give you very good bonuses, and you do get a lot of Lotus potions through just general playing and getting it through chests and stuff. So it could be worth looking into getting Lotus potions now or having a look, because they do have some nice bonuses, like the golden Lotus is plus 21 stamina and the purple Lotus is plus 12% in follower damage. These are all not too bad to make either way. They cost usually a water-filled glass flask, a alchemical base, and some powder of the Lotus of choice. And if you're wondering how you get this powder, you put like a Lotus flower into a grinder and then you grind it into powder, and that's how you would get it. And you can unlock all of these with the level 30 alchemist fireball feat, so you can get more of these goodies. Now you might be asking, how does this compare to the elixirs that you can get? Well, let's have a look at this. Elixir of Might, compare it to the Black Lotus potion, gives the exact same thing. However, when you go and try and make it, it's actually kind of more costly than the other one, because it takes a Frost Lotus powder and a Grey Lotus powder, which you'd have to go into the pit with the bone dragon in to get that kind of thing. But if you just had the Black Lotus potion one, you'd only have to have 2 of the powders of the Black Lotus powder. So yeah, very similar, but you'd need 2 different types of powder to make the Elixir of Might for the very same buff. And it's the same with the Grey Lotus one, although Grey Lotus flowers are usually arguably harder to get because you have to go down that pit again and go to the chests and stuff. So you might as well go for the Black Lotus potion over, the Grey Lotus potion or the Elixir of Might. Another example is the Tears of Gullah, which is your follower damage elixir now. For some reason they didn't want to call it Elixir of Gullah, they just made it Tears of Gullah. And that is the same as the Purple Lotus potion. However, the costs are different. So Tears of Gullah is going to take you not only a Purple Lotus powder, it's going to take you a Crimson Lotus powder. Whereas the Purple Lotus one will only take you 2 Purple Lotuses, and those are again quite common to get. The red ones aren't hard to get either, but you would be probably saving a bit more, or not having to go and get the red Lotus in general actually, because none of these need that. You could just save it and go for Purple Lotus and have the Purple Lotus potion for the exact same effect. Depends what's easier for you, what you have in your cupboard, etc. But just some kind of recommendations and having a look into the Lotus potions a little bit more. What one would you prefer to use over the other one, etc. And all of that good stuff. And now when it comes to the Frost Lotus potion, so the one that gives us our kind of random rolls and all of that stuff, This potion usually ends up costing you a Frost Lotus flower, so you only need the flower, alchemic base, and a water-filled glass flask. Now, if it's in comparison to any of the other things, like you could do the armor elixir, so if we wanted that one, we would just need to grind a Frost Lotus potion and do this exact same thing. So it'd probably be easier if you wanted extra weight for that one to do it that way. If you wanted extra armor though, it's going to cost you a golden lotus powder. So if you wanted an armor elixir, it might be actually easier just to make the Frost Lotus potion and keep rolling for the armor. Because otherwise you're going to have to go to, again, like the volcano and get the golden lotus, which is not as easy as going to get, you know, Frost Lotuses and stuff, because you have to go all the way down the bottom and everything. But again, it's where you live, your preference, etc., you know, all of that good stuff. But again, with a lot of these elixirs and stuff, they take double usually. Minus the elixir of numbing, which seems to be like its own thing, and the elixir of grace. But if you wanted another route or another way you could get different bonuses and stuff, you could try using the lotus potions, because those are also an option. They're basically just elixirs, but a little less explained, and they just kind of sit around. If anything, I would have thought with the lotus potions for the update, they could have upped them a little bit more in stats, and maybe made them a little bit harder to get, and that would have made them special. But apart from, you know, convenience and what's better for you to gather and stuff in comparison to other thing, well, they aren't really any different from these, apart from a little bit of extra crafting cost on some of these. So that's just a little look into the lotus potions here. If you were curious about them, if they're any special than the elixirs, which they are not. So you choose what is better for you to craft, etc., and see about it, and then hopefully maybe they'll fix the agility one, because I'm pretty sure one of those is supposed to be agility. It doesn't make sense having 3 different elixirs to up your strength weapon damage. That is a little bit silly. And then also you could also try for the random rolling Frost Lotus potion, because that is quite fun and is pretty cheap as well in comparison as well to some of the other ones. But most of them are cheap and cheerful, to be honest as well. It's only the alchemical base that's going to give you a problem. If you're on Scepter, that's not a problem, because there's tons of gold and silver. And to be honest, I don't find alchemical base a problem in general, because you can just get like 500 out of a bearer, of a T3 bearer, so you can get a lot of alchemical base, and happy days. And you only need to get that once, and then you can make absolutely loads of potions and all that good stuff. So those are lotus potions. I hope this video helped you out, or maybe you learnt something new, or maybe you're like, oh, well, I'm going to use this instead or something. Anyway, let me know what you think about lotus potions. Do you think they should have a buff? I think they definitely should have a buff. Maybe make them a bit harder to get, buff them up, and then, you know, make them into something interesting, because at the moment they're just sitting there, and they're kind of just being filler. They're kind of just sitting there. But anyway, thank you for watching. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!